What's going on, everybody? I'm just getting this Blu-ray started. Just for the record, there it is. Spider-Man: No Way Home. I've already rewatched this on what is it? Wednesday. Wednesday, I rewatched this because I couldn't help myself. I was like, I want to watch this at home. Hey, yes. Let's go. Let's fucking go. Um, and I'm not done with the X-Men franchise. We will go back. Let's go. We're not done with the X-Men franchise. We will go back to it. But when I got this, I said I need to do a live watch of Spider-Man: No Way Home. It kind of will conclude the Spider-Man rewatch series that I did, right? We watched the 3 Tobey movies, we watched the 2 Andrew Garfield movies, we watched the Tom Holland movies. We might as well cap it off with No Way Home. You look forward to my drunken rage watch. That's a good way to put it. My drunken rage watch of X-Men Origins Wolverine. That is happening. That will happen. It may be next week. It's definitely the next live watch that I do. For sure. Let's do this. Yeah, well, okay, so I pulled the Blu-ray up. It's playing a Morbius trailer right now. And we all know how that turned out. Best movie of the last year for sure. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I love this movie. Are you going to see Everything Everywhere All at Once? You know what, Ryan? That's a good question. I've seen so many positive reviews and so much good word of mouth stuff about that movie that it's making me curious. Oh, nice. You got the Blu-ray too. Cool, man. Yeah, this is one of those movies that, like, when I rewatched it the other day, I'm not sick of it. I don't get sick of it. One of the best movies in the last 5 years. Yeah, absolutely. This was my favorite movie of last year. Favorite superhero movie, favorite Marvel movie of last year, favorite movie of last year. And rewatching it, I was like, yeah, man, this movie still holds up. You bought the Target exclusive 4K. I have not gotten into the 4K business yet. I don't know. I don't want to say never because I remember when Blu-ray first became a thing, I was like, no, my DVDs and blah, blah, blah. And then I started to get Blu-rays for, like, superhero movies, and I said, okay, now I get it. I get why Blu-rays are as big of a deal. So right now they're playing the trailer for Venom: Let There Be Carnage. A movie that I have not bought. I did see in theaters. I don't... As much of a collector as I am, I can't see myself buying Venom: Let There Be Carnage. Looking forward to Doctor Strange 2. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I already got my ticket. It was not an easy ticket to get. But I got the ticket. And I am very excited. The Best Buy Steel Book was sold out already. Oh, shit. Yeah, the only thing that would get me to buy Venom: Let There Be Carnage if it was... You know when they do those Black Friday sales and every, like, big movie gets marked down to, like, $5? Maybe. And even that's a maybe, because I don't have a huge desire to rewatch this movie. Maybe one of these days I'll do a live watch, a drunk watch of Venom 1 and 2, right? Uncharted is fun. They showed the trailer for Uncharted before I started the stream. Yeah. I'm not going to shit on Uncharted. I want to be positive about Tom Holland. Mark Wahlberg, on the other hand, I don't know. By the way, I do got some popcorn. It's not a movie unless you got popcorn, folks. But it's the cheddar popcorn. Cheddar popcorn's my favorite. Okay. They're playing another trailer, I think. Jurassic Watch is still happening. Catwoman or Venom 2? Oh, well, Catwoman's worse. Absolutely. Venom 2 at least has moments. Not a lot of moments, but it at least has moments of Carnage killing people, and it's like, okay, that's kind of like the Carnage I know. And then there's other moments where I'm like, not so much. You going to see Fantastic Beast 3 tomorrow? The Crimes of Grindelwald was terrible. Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore is okay. Compared to Crimes of Grindelwald, Secrets of Dumbledore is actually good, right? As far as its own movie, though, I don't know. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, Catwoman. Catwoman might be the worst superhero movie of all time. It's either Catwoman or Elektra with Jennifer Garner. I can't tell which ones are the worst. Elektra's really fucking bad. Fan Four Stick. You know, not worse than Catwoman, but Fan Four Stick's pretty bad. You had so much fun seeing Sonic 2. Sonic 2 was fun. Sonic 2 was fun. Now they're showing the trailer for Ghostbusters Afterlife. Halle Berry Catwoman? Yeah, right. Halle Berry Catwoman is terrible. Remember Jennifer Garner in this show Alias? I never watched Alias, but I remember commercials for Alias. I remember it being a thing. I remember it being out. Wasn't that like a Fox show? You'd rather rewatch Fan Four Stick, and that was awful. Yeah. I haven't watched Fan Four Stick since the theaters. But I can't imagine it's worse than Catwoman. Hulk 2003, yeah, Hulk 2003. It's not terrible. Hulk 2003 has moments, but it's not good. You know what I mean? It's not good either. A lot of those early to mid 2000s movies. Oh, it was ABC, was it? Oh. Alias was ABC? Okay. Why did I think it was Fox? Maybe I'm thinking of... What show was Dark Angel on? Wasn't that Jessica Alba? Was that Fox? Excuse me. Will I watch all Fast and Furious? Oh, you mean do live watches for Fast and Furious? If people want me to. Does anybody want me to do Fast and Furious live watches? I mean, the reason why I'm doing, I'm doing the X-Men ones because of the Patrick Stewart, Doctor Strange connection. Dark Angel was Fox. All right, thank you. But yes, please, to Fast and Furious. The reason why I'm doing the X-Men rewatches is because of Doctor Strange, the Patrick Stewart. We don't know if more X-Men will show up, but it was my excuse to do it, right? And then after that, we'll do Jurassic Park movies. I'm trying to balance how many X-Men movies I can fit in before Doctor Strange comes out. Dark Angel was James Cameron's idea. I think I did hear that he produced it, right? Or created it, or... I never watched Dark Angel 2. I just remember seeing commercials. I remember Jessica Alba. Jessica Alba was super smoking hot back in the Dark Angel days. I mean, granted, she's still very attractive now, but Dark Angel, Idle Hands was my Jessica Alba was my biggest celebrity crush when Idle Hands came out. I don't know if you guys remember Idle Hands. Um, you really hope Bryan Singer's X-Men team returns? Are you talking about like the actors from the original movies? I would love. I know Logan was a perfect send off for Hugh Jackman, but to get Hugh Jackman in the MCU, even if it's just for like a cameo or a quick moment, he doesn't have to come back full time. I know they probably have to recast it. Jessica Alba and Good Luck Chuck was smoking hot. She was. She was. Jensen Ackles was on that show. Yeah, it's funny. I actually watched Jensen Ackles. Well, I didn't watch the whole interview because I still haven't finished Supernatural, so I didn't want to get spoiled. But I saw a clip of Jensen Ackles on Michael Rosenbaum's podcast, and he talked about how Jessica Alba was kind of a bitch back then. I mean, they've made up supposedly since then, but he was honest and said, like, yeah, dude, she was completely full of herself, and she treated me like shit because I was just a guest star. I wasn't a main cast guy, so she was just a bitch. And I, I love that in Hollywood. Like when when actors are honest about other actors and other experiences, when they're honest, there's so much bullshit, so much like, oh yeah, everyone's great, everyone's nice, and that's a lie. You know that there are instances where people are just dicks and people are afraid to name names. People are afraid to piss people off. Are we at the menu yet? We just got to the menu. Um, so, okay, we're going to. I'm gonna put subtitles on, just in case there's anything I miss. Right? English subtitles. Um, all right. So, are we good? Are we ready? Honest celebrities are treasures. Yes, honest celebrities are. All right. We're gonna get started. Uh, I just press play. I will let you know though when. Okay, we have the PG-13. This motion picture has been rated. Blah blah blah. MPA. And now we have the FBI anti-piracy warning. You're ready? All right, everyone's ready. We're only at the anti-piracy. Piracy is not a victimless crime. Just so that people know. I will let you know when the actual movie. I have the timestamps. All right, here we go. Boom. We're 3 seconds in. All right. Sony, we are good. Oh, there's so much good stuff to talk about. I already love. Not obviously, not every Marvel movie does this, but I love when we get voiceover or we get story in the opening credits, the opening titles. The overlap it over the intro. As much as I love the Marvel Studios intro music, do it. Execute them all. This is the end of Spider-Man Far From Home. Keanu Reeves just seems like the coolest fucking dude ever. He's just really nice. He doesn't. I hardly ever hear him say shit about people, and not because he's being fake. It's just because he's nice. You know. Yeah, see, we have the Marvel logo, but it's the end. And what's weird is that Far From Home, this wasn't even the end of the movie. It was the post-credit scene of Far From Home. Spider-Man's real name is Peter Parker. There's our quick Jake Gyllenhaal cameo from the last movie. I love that this movie starts immediately where Far From Home ended. I love that. We don't get enough sequels that take place moments where the last movie ended. Those are some of my favorite sequels that start like that. Everyone's fucking going crazy all over Zendaya. That's probably how her real life is when she steps out anywhere, right? People just crowd over her. This fat chick who's like, Spider-Man hit me! Who is it that said the public will turn on you? They will hate you. Where is that from? Yes, Back to the Future 2 starts immediately after Back to the Future 1. Yep. Does anybody prefer the red and black suit over the red and blue suit? Or do we miss the red and blue suit? We get the red and blue suit back at the end of the movie, thankfully, but do you guys like the red and black? Just curious. I love that MJ is so anti-swinging, but because of the state that they're in, she's like, just fucking do it. I'll close my eyes. Flash just found out that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. His world just became, just went upside down. You like the red and black. Okay. Red and blue is classic, but the red and black is okay. Flash makes me laugh. Flash is he's kind of underrated because he's such a small part of the Spider-Man movies that he's not like the first thing you talk about, but when you go back and watch the movies, he does have some good moments. Red and black is the thing about the red and black is that it still looks enough like the classic suit. It's black instead of blue, but it's not a huge departure to where you're like, "Oh, what is this? It doesn't look like Spider-Man." And poor Happy. I felt so bad for Happy at the end of Far From Home, when Aunt May said it was a fling, and he was like, "What?" Because like that's fucked up. Oh, and he's undressed. I love that Aunt May was about to say, "Practice safe sex." Aunt May looks good in this scene. When does Marissa Tomei not look good? Find me a scene where Marissa Tomei does not look good. Marissa Tomei might be the hottest aunt you've ever seen in a movie. Ever. Alright, I'm going to start eating popcorn. I love the chaos of this scene, right? Like, Peter's trying to distract Aunt May from the bullshit that's about to come upon them. Happy is upset over the breakup. Zendaya is being a very good girlfriend and helping him. I love that the news is right there. It's about to reveal everything. She's hot in What Women Want. The Mel Gibson movie? Huh, I don't remember her in that. Yeah, Peter's wearing the shirt, "I survived a trip to New York," right? Isn't that the shirt that Tony Stark gave him in Homecoming? When he didn't have clothes to wear because Tony took away his suit? I think that's the same shirt, I think. I love that J.K. Simmons is back as J. Jonah Jameson. Not just a cameo, not just the one short scene from Far From Home. And I love that Jameson goes from like a room in his apartment and then breaking the story that Peter is Spider-Man, that brings him to like a huge studio and he's big time now. The first like 15-20 minutes where Peter's dealing with his identity being out there, that's some of my favorite parts of this movie. Because based off of the trailers, I was excited to get the villains. I was excited to get Doc Ock and Green Goblin and the potentiality of the three Spider-Mans all together. Even though we didn't know for sure, we kind of knew. We did know. But I wanted some fallout. I wanted repercussions of his identity being exposed by Mysterio. I didn't want them to gloss over that. I didn't want them to just, find an easy solution. They do find a solution at the end, but it's a big part of this beginning, and it's a big part of the plot. First time that Michelle Jones, her last name Watson, so she is MJ Watson. I thought that was a very interesting choice. I like it. It's almost like they slowly made her Mary Jane. She's not Mary Jane, but she's Michelle Jones Watson. When she was first cast as MJ, or at the time we thought it was Mary Jane, people were upset because, oh, she's not this white redhead girl, and they're race changing, and look, I'm not going to shit on people who were upset about that because there are occasions when I get upset over that too. There are castings where I go, oh, they didn't, like they changed the race of whatever character. It's case by case basis for me. But making her Michelle instead of Mary Jane and slowly turning her into his MJ, I like it. I think Marvel did a smart thing by the way how they handled her character. This movie is filled with everything. I love all this. I love how this guy, damage control, how he says to MJ, you have good grades, you have this whole life ahead of you. Why are you with a guy like this? Ned, he tricks him into admitting that Ned's been with him. Oh, fuck, we gotta stop talking. It's Matt fucking Murdock, people. Woo-hoo! Sorry if I'm being extra loud, but holy shit. Every time I see Charlie Cox on screen, this blows my fucking mind. Like, I still can't believe that Charlie Cox is in the MCU. Holy fuck. This scene is great. This scene is great. My only complaint is that I want more Charlie goddamn Cox. I want more Cox. What? No, but seriously, Daredevil on Netflix, that might be my favorite superhero live action show ever. And so it means a lot. It means a lot for me personally. How much I love that show and how much I love that character. And as much as I love... Oh, he catches the brick. Oh, so good, man. Oh, how did you just do that? I'm a really good lawyer. Oh, fuck. We need more. We need more Matt Murdock. We need more Daredevil. God damn. That scene is so good. I just want more. I want a movie where Spider-Man and Daredevil team up, right? And go out and do some shit. That's true. That's a good point, Ty. People who didn't watch Daredevil, even if you're aware of the character Daredevil from the Ben Affleck movie or from video games or from cartoons, you know who he is. He shows up, he's blind, he's a lawyer, they call him Matt. If you don't instantly know it's Daredevil, I'm sure your friend who's sitting there with you in the theater can be like, holy shit, that's Daredevil. And if you don't know he's Daredevil, they don't hit you over the head with references to confuse you either. So we got Vincent D'Onofrio and Hawkeye. Hopefully we got more with him. And we have Charlie Cox in Spider-Man. Hopefully we'll get more of him too. I think the Mets are going to go all the way this year. I think Zendaya's great. Zendaya, I've never been this huge like Zendaya stan. I know she has super fans from back in her Disney show days. I don't know. I really got to know her from these movies. And I think this movie is her best performance acting wise. I think this movie, she has some really good comedic beats, some good timing. That's true. Daredevil is now on Disney Plus. Thank you. Daredevil is on Disney Plus, so there's no excuse. God damn it! I like this moment. That is relationship goals right there. MJ, you both like each other. We get it. There's no new ground being broken here. Oh, Happy. Happy gave his room to Aunt May. Hey, Betty Brant! And they gave Betty Brant the Go Get 'Em Tiger line. Nice. I like that actress that plays Betty Brant, and I know she. I think I heard that she was busy on a different show, so that's why she's only in that one scene. I'm glad they still put her in, because you know, she's one of the handful of characters that have been in all three of the Tom Holland movies. As just a side character. That guy, by the way, are you gonna have his spider babies? I don't know why I find that hilarious. Flashpoint. I love that Marvel has a Flashpoint before DC and fucking that douchebag Ezra Miller gets his movie out. I love that Marvel was like, fuck you. We're gonna call his book Flashpoint. Elizabeth Banks did play Betty Brant in the Sam Raimi. Yes, yes. Back when nobody knew who Elizabeth Banks was. I see Howard Stark on the wall behind him. Mysterio was right. Hannibal Buress, what a dick. I love that. I love that his teacher made this shrine to him. We all know you can do it. And this moment of Tom Holland walking through the halls. Again, this is probably Tom Holland's everyday life, right? With people fucking phones in front of him. But you first watched Hannibal Buress in 2017 Baywatch. I don't even remember him in Baywatch. Wow. But yes, he is a funny dude. But I hated Baywatch. Yes, my Spider Lord. Zendaya just... I mean, she's clearly a better written MJ than Kirsten Dunst was. And that's nothing against Kirsten Dunst, because Kirsten Dunst is always and will always be my original MJ, right? But her character was not written well. Her character was written to be a fucking lying, cheating, horrible girlfriend, you know? Where MJ, Michelle, very loyal, very loving, very much I stand by my dude, ride or die, fucking... If you expect disappointment, you can never really get disappointed. That's a good ongoing quote for this movie. College admissions. Nope. It's MIT. I love that the machine device thing from Iron Man 1 is back in this movie and happy. MJ is like the Letty to Peter's Dom. That's a good way to put it. When I watch the Fast and Furious movies, Letty definitely feels like that ride or die, I'll fucking follow you to the ends of the earth type chick, and that's the goal. Get yourself a girlfriend that will be loyal. I even love Zendaya's delivery of, "Don't throw up, because he'll just make me clean it." It's those subtle comedic things. And here we find out. First time I saw this, I thought we were going to find out that Peter didn't get in, but the two of them did, or that maybe Ned did, or she did. I was surprised that all three of them didn't go in. And that actually makes sense, given the fact that Peter is not being selfish. He is more worried about his friends getting into college even than himself. Expect disappointment. You'll never get disappointed. No. Flash. Boston! Big up Boston. You didn't get in? Huh. Okay, that's a good question. Flash is awful. Yeah, because he's not really Peter's friend. He's not. He was an asshole to Peter, and he's only nice to Peter because he's trying to use his Spider-Man fame. Oh shit! I'm making a mess. Don't mind me. So we never see MJ's parents, right? Or she mentions that she's living with her father. Um, oh, nice shirt. Oh, well, thank you. I'm pretty sure I wore this shirt for one of my other Spider-Man live watches, but and I have a fucking hole. There's a hole that kind of bothers me because it's like right there. But I also don't want to get rid of the shirt until I get a shirt that's equally as, um, you know, one that I like as much. So until I buy a new shirt that looks like this, I believe this shirt is connected to the Amazing Spider-Man 2 movie. But yeah, I definitely need to get a new shirt like this before I get rid of this one. Oh, and when I was watching this movie on Wednesday, Peter going to the Sanctum Sanctorum, Peter Parker going to see Doctor Strange in a live action movie blows my mind that we live in a world where Peter fucking Parker can just go visit Doctor Strange in a movie and nobody bats an eye. Nobody says, "What? This is weird." Nobody says, "Who's Doctor Strange?" Nobody's confused. We just fucking go with it. It's like the comic books, it's like the cartoons, on screen, live action, right there in front of us, before our eyes. And people get it. You know, people who didn't grow up with this type of stuff understand this world and how it works. So people like me and us who did grow up with this type of stuff, it's crazy how normal this is now, right? It's crazy how normal movies, the Marvel movies, have made this concept. I don't know. I could talk about that for days. Just how much. Maybe I sound like a Marvel fanboy. Maybe I sound like the fucking biggest Marvel dick sucker ever. And that's fine because I appreciate Marvel. Uh, Marvel Studios. Get that straight. Fuck you, Sony. Here we go. You almost forget Doctor Strange does not have the time stone, and Peter forgot that. I, if Doctor Strange did have the time stone, would he have done it? Would he have gone back in time and done this for him? Oh. The runes of Kofkov? What? I love that Wong is like, no, that's just too dangerous, dude. I wonder if Doctor Strange doing this spell is is the cause of the shit that's going crazy in Multiverse of Madness, or if the spell at the end of the movie is the cause of it, or if it's not connected to those and it's just something completely different that jump starts whatever the plot of Multiverse of Madness is. And I remember in the first trailer for this, remember people, me included, thought that Strange was acting weird and he was acting maybe sinister, and people were like, "Oh, is he really fucking the evil Strange, or is something going on with him?" But no, Doctor Strange is just a cocky dude. It had to. Don't call me sir. Now, I don't care how cocky Doctor Strange is. This is the one. I'm not going to say the only flaw, because I love this movie. I do. I love this movie. Um, but Doctor Strange really should have sat him down and said, "Okay, are you sure you want everybody to forget? Is there anybody in your life that you want to remember? Let me explain this to you before I start the fucking spell. That everyone will forget who you are. Everyone." Do you know what I mean? Strange definitely should have explained it to him. Um, but hey, you had to get this movie fucking started, right? And I don't want to try to make excuses, because if it was another, if this was Morbius and the rest of the movie sucked, this would be a huge flaw. But because the whole movie is fucking awesome, you just go with it, right? This is where Peter Parker fucks it up. Basically, everyone that knew I was Spider-Man before should still know. Now, I guess him saying that is what brings people who know that he's Spider-Man. Which is interesting, because I remember at the end of Loki, when Sylvie does what she does, she kills He Who Remains, and the multiverse stuff starts to explode. At least I thought that that was going to be why this happens, you know? Call me sir. And I love when Steven says Loki's excellent. That show was great. WandaVision was great. Loki was great. I've been really happy so far with the Marvel Disney Plus shows. Very happy. And I love this moment when he's like, and if you tried to convince them to change their minds, then and, and this is where, because some people think that Peter Parker is a genius, and he is a genius, but he's 17 years old. I got their letter, and I assumed that that was it. I love. Are you telling me that you haven't even tried to talk to them? This is so fucking good. Well, when you put it like that, close the door, kick him out. Oh, I love it. I love it. That's a good bit. That's a good bit. That's the thing. Yes, yes. Just because Peter is innocent and naive, which he is, does not make him dumb. I feel like I see people who review these movies or talk about, like, why is Peter so dumb, or why does he make these mistakes, and it's like, he's still a fucking teenager. He's going to be very intelligent when it comes to doing math, when it comes to anything along those lines, science, experiments, technology, algorithms, all of that shit. He'll fucking But when it comes to common sense shit, that's a real thing. Being street smart versus book smart is a real thing, and Peter's clearly very book smart. Which is what I love about when we get to. It's very weird to see Peter change from his Spider-Man suit to his regular clothes in public. You know, it's very trippy. But everybody already knows. But that's what I like about when you see Tobey Maguire and you see Andrew Garfield. Very different. Very different. More mature, more world lived, more life experiences. That's the only thing really that separates them, right? Is their life experiences. And even Peter's calling her MJ Watson now. Oh yeah. Later on, when Strange hits Peter out of his physical, his astro projection out of his body, very cool moment. And it's very cool that even out of his body, the Spider-Man body is still avoiding Doctor Strange with the totem. Very, like, I don't know how or why Spider-Man can do that, but it's very cool. Here we go. We're about to get, yep, Spider Senses. This is the first Tom Holland movie where Spider Sense is fully showcased. They hint at it when he's on the bus in Infinity War, right? The hair on his arms stand up. There might have been another moment in Far From Home, but I don't remember. This movie, you see his Spider Sense and how it works. There is Alfred Molina. Hello, Peter. The power of the sun in the palm of my hand. Hearing that line again in 2021 when this came out, like, because not only is it bringing back Alfred Molina, not only is it using CGI to make him look 17 years younger, but you're also having him say that line specifically because you're drilling it into our heads that that's the same Doc Ock from Spider-Man 2. And that's crazy to think about. Do you know what I mean? I love the fact that we're at a point now with technology that we can bring back when he says I should have killed your girlfriend when I had the chance. And I love how Tom Holland takes that as Zendaya when he's talking about fucking Kirsten Dunst. Well, he's not talking about fucking Kirsten Dunst. I think we all would like to fuck Kirsten Dunst. I'm talking about the other MJ. I love that Doc Ock reacted to the Iron Spider having the spider arms. Very cool. And this is the only Spider-Man Doc Ock fight that we get in this movie on the bridge. It's very cool, though. Very cool. Like Spider-Man trying to save this woman, and Doc Ock's just throwing cars and throwing shit at him. Very cool. And he looks so good, man. It literally looks like they took 2004 Doc Ock and placed him into this movie somehow. Yeah, Doc Ock was going for murder. He's not fucking around. You almost forget how mean and vicious Doc Ock was, because the last thing we saw of him was him turning good, him sacrificing himself, him destroying that machine, him being the good guy that he was. So you forget that before that happened, he was a fucking stone cold killer. Even him with that fucking blade in the middle of his arm. You're not Peter Parker. New device detected. It's like a fucking Bluetooth. This moment of Spider-Man controlling his arms is very amusing. And especially because of how angry Otto gets. He's so angry. And he's angry all the fucking time. That's true. That's true. That's a very good point. Bluetooth technology defeats Doc Ock's fucking 2004 technology. Very interesting to think about. I'm going to talk to them about your friends and you. It's about goddamn time Peter Parker got a win. I'm in control of this whole tentacle situation you have going on here. Oh, Spider Sense. Pumpkin bomb, baby! Let me hear that laugh. There's the laugh! Ha ha ha! Seeing, I know some people shit on the classic, or I should classic, the 2002 Green Goblin costume. Oh, it looks like a Power Rangers villain. Oh, this and that. And I get it. But there is still something very nostalgic, something still very fucking awesome to see Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin costume in the MCU. Be careful what you wish for, Parker. Willem Dafoe would be great in Boondock Saints 3. Yeah, I mean, yeah, sure. I just don't know what that movie would look like. You know what I mean? I don't know what a Boondock Saints 3 would be, especially at the age that Sean, what's his name? Sean Flannery, what's his name? He ain't getting any younger. I like that Otto. Yes. No. I love that. Do you know a Peter Parker who's Spider-Man? Yes. Is that him? No. It kind of, a flying green elf. His last big role was Saw 7. Yeah, right. And he was in Dexter season 8. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's not like I think he couldn't pull it off. I don't know what that movie would be like with them at this point. This. Lots of birthday parties. So I love that Doctor Strange just completely tricks out his fucking armored thing there. Send them here. Yes. I love the capture the villain plot. And again, it's only like 1/4 of this movie. There are so many parts of this movie. First part, like I said, Peter's identity being out there. He's dealing with it. It's chaos. Blah blah blah. This part is now, yes, Peter is having to capture all of these villains. Have I seen Dexter New Blood? No, I haven't. He'd be good as a slasher villain? Yeah, he would. Scooby-Doo this shit. Scooby-Doo this shit is a much better line than Scooby-Doo this crap that was in the trailer. Please, Scooby-Doo this shit. See, that's already better. The Undercroft? I love that the Sanctum Sanctorum has a basement. And this is, like, you see a washer and dryer over there. I think there's a fridge on the other side, although there's no food in that fridge. He just has fucking weird shit and creatures in it. I love this moment. I swear they're trying to make me fall in love with this fucking girl. Zendaya saying to him, hey, look, I get that you were trying to help us and you were trying to, like, do what you could, but just next time, talk to us. Next time, run it by us so that we can come up with a plan together. She's not giving him shit. She's not attacking him. She's not saying, hey, fuck you, asshole, you did the wrong thing and now all this is your fault. Trust me, I've seen many girlfriends and love interests and my own personal experiences where the girlfriends just fucking attack you and don't see the good intentions that you had. Anyways. So where they laugh at his name. Is that a dinosaur? Yeah, the lizard's there. I love that he's frantically trying to clean his fucking suit. He can't get that damn green paint off of it. So does Doctor Strange dye his beard? Is that why that like Just for Men shit was there? And this is where he gets the idea to wear the suit inside out. Which is crazy because in Spider-Man Homecoming, when Ned, is this a torture rack? Oh, yeah, yeah. We don't talk nearly enough about Ned and how good of a best friend Ned is. Okay. So again, we tire of your questions, boy. I love how angry fucking Doc Ock is. Okay, I think I'm done with the popcorn. Okay, so I don't want to be that guy because I love this movie. I love this movie. I mean, you guys hear me gushing over this movie. Dr. Octopus should not know that Norman Osborn is Green Goblin. He shouldn't. In the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies, nobody knew that Norman was Green Goblin other than Peter. The whole point of Norman dying and Peter keeping the secret, when Norman says to Peter, don't tell Harry, And Peter keeps the secret to Harry that, like, hey, he doesn't tell him that he doesn't tell Harry that Norman was Green Goblin and was a villain. So the whole world, it's not public knowledge. That's true. Bernard, the butler, knew because apparently the butler cleaned his wounds and just didn't fucking tell anybody until Spider-Man 3. But that is a continuity error, which isn't a big deal. Again, doesn't ruin the movie. It's whatever at the end of the day. But Otto Octavius should not know that Norman Osborn is Green Goblin. That was never public knowledge, and if it ever did become public knowledge, Otto died way before that would have happened, right? I love that shot of Electro forming behind Peter, and Peter can sense it, so he brings up the fucking thing. Just a very cool shot. And of course, it goes right through Electro. And he brings in a tree. And we get the dubstep. We got the dubstep. Harry always spoke to Otto. Well, Harry didn't know. That's the whole point, is that Harry doesn't find out that Norman was Green Goblin until the end of Spider-Man 2 when he finds his secret lair behind the wall. So Harry never told them. Harry didn't know. It's Flint Marko. You remember? And I like that Sandman. It actually starts out as like a good guy because, he was a good guy. I am very happy that Electro I'm very happy that Electro is yellow instead of blue. Thank fucking God. The explanation that he's in a different universe and the energy that he's consuming is different, and so that's what changes his look. I mean, it makes sense enough for me to go along with it, right? It's enough for me to be like, okay, cool. At least they gave us an explanation of why Electro looks different. I don't need it to be this super different Peter. Weird. Don't worry about it. And Jamie Foxx is naked. And isn't Jamie Foxx like in his 50s and he's in pretty good shape? Fuck. I wish I was in that shape now. Never mind when I'm 50. That was a minor. Yeah. It's Doc Ock knowing about Norman Osborn being Green Goblin is such a minor thing. Like, it's not enough for me to create an unholy rant video, right? Where I'm like, this movie falls apart because of this, this, and this. It's like, dude, it's the perfect example of if everything else works, if everything else is fun, if everything else is enjoyable, if I get enough great things from other parts of this movie, I will forgo a lot of logic stuff or a lot of little things, nitpicky things. I can disregard that if the sum of the rest of the movie is good. I kind of like that Sandman was like, "What the fuck did you just do to him?" And he's like, "I don't know you. You're not the Peter I know. So like, you could be fucking lying to me." That makes sense for why he's. I'm glad Thomas Hayden Church came back too. I mean, I know he's not physically there. I think I heard something about if it was scheduling or like COVID stuff, so they just didn't have him on set. Either way, they got him. They got his likeness. They got his voice. It's enough for me to Let me guess. Into a lizard? Exactly. I can turn you all into lizards. I love that lizard's whole fucking deal is that he just wants to turn everybody into lizards. I love that Jamie Foxx recognized Kirk Connors from his universe. That was a great continuity thing. I love this bit of Spider-Man wanting to fix the damage that was done. He's a lot more conscious of that now, given his current um, public. Is this a tree monster or a scientist that turned into a tree? It's just a tree, man. It's just a tree. I don't know why I find that funny. Oh, there it is. There's the fucking goblin mask. Oh, it looks so good. I don't care. I don't care what anybody says. I love them. I love that. And there's young William Dafoe, digitally de-aged William Dafoe. He looks good, man. He looks good. And he broke the mask, destroyed it. That's the last we see of Green Guy. It's a little sad to see it go, but I get it. I get it. I actually really like the up-to-date Goblin look by the end of the movie. Feast. I love that Aunt May works for Feast, which Spider-Man PS5 game. Anyone? I love him frantically going in here because he doesn't know what he's about to run into. I love that Norman is confused because he's like, "You're not Spider-Man." Everyone's expecting Tobey Maguire, and they're like, "Who is this guy?" Oh, did he? Willem called himself William? Because for years, I called him William Defoe. It wasn't until I don't know, like 2 years ago, where I realized that it's spelled Willem, and so I said, "Oh, I guess it's pronounced Willem." So the fact that even he gets confused on what his name is makes me feel better. And I also love that they kept this beat of Norman having the whole, he turns into the Goblin. That's very important to Norman Osborn in general, is that he turns into another personality. I just feel like some of the Spider-Man movies depended on that too much, or other superhero villains. They have the whole like, oh, they change and become somebody else. I think Norman Osborn's the best example of he turns into a completely different person, and he's not responsible for what he does. He wakes up from it and says, "Fuck, what did I do? Who did I kill?" You know. And here you have the moment where Aunt May is trying to tell him, "You need to save them. He's lost. He needs help." And we can debate this. We can debate whether or not Peter should have just sent them back. His aunt would still be alive. Um, it's certainly a debate, but that's yes. At least Peter at first doesn't want to. He only does it because his aunt's words are in his head, as far as like this is the right thing to do. Saving people, even if it means. I should probably mention this. All right, so for anybody who's watching this with me, the part where Peter just left the van and said thanks, May, and left. The first time I saw this in theaters, something went wrong with the projector. Mary Jane? It's Michelle Jones, actually. Um, so something went wrong with the projector at the theater where it kept replaying that scene of Peter leaving the van. It played it like 3 or 4 times. It just would repeat. And people in the crowd were like, what the fuck? And then I don't know what happened. It, it's not like they use a physical, you know, uh, film reel. I don't think they use that anymore. So maybe it was just the file. It took a good like 10 minutes for them to get the movie back and running. And I remember thinking to myself, I was looking forward to this movie for so goddamn long, and you're telling me that it's gonna fuck up. And here we go. Sandman is now explaining that they both died. It was all over the news. Green Goblin impaled by the glider. Which that makes sense. That would be on the news, I guess, right? Wait, would it? Hold on. That wouldn't be. Well, shit. Did they know that the glider impaled him? I thought they just thought that Spider-Man killed him. Hold on. Okay, fuck. I like this moment of them realizing that, like, oh shit, I was about to die. Like Jamie Foxx. I was about to die. Like, I was about to die. And I like that Lizard says, do you know, do I die? It's actually like a real moment where he's like almost a little scared of like, is my fate to die right now? Like shockingly, I feel bad for them. Shockingly, you know, we're talking about movies that are 15 to 20 years old, and you're making me think back on how each, not all of them, but most of their fates are that they die. And seeing them be told that information, know that that's their future, it's shocking how much I feel bad for them and how much I am understanding of Tom Holland's like, I need to save them. I also understand Doctor Strange being like, fuck it, this ain't my problem, this ain't my shit. Like, I'm just gonna send them back. That's all I give a shit about. If they die, they die. I'm gonna assume that Ned and MJ do not like this plan either, by the look they just gave him. Norman looking very scared. Now, the thing with Norman, and this is what makes him such a good villain, you don't know if that's real Norman scared or if that's evil Norman using that, right? Is he trying to trick you to be like, hey, save me, and then, haha, fuck you. You know? I love Zendaya trying to protect him. This is why I never had kids. This moment of Peter going through a portal and not realizing that he just went around in circles and Doctor Strange is right there. So good. Oh, we're back to the red and black suit. There it is, astro projection. And very underappreciated moment of the portal opening up in Spider-Man's web going through the portal and webbing his own foot from behind. See, how is he doing this? How is Spider-Man's body avoiding Strange without even Peter inside of him? It's blowing my mind to think about. It goes to show you how fucking strong and even smarter Spider-Man is without even realizing it. And there, Spider-Man in the mirror dimension is something that I never thought I'd ever see. I never even knew I wanted to see it until they gave it to me. This is so fucking cool. Anytime Doctor Strange is in the Mirrorverse and he's fucking warping buildings, doing the Inception shit, we got some Christmas music playing. It's the that Christmas music's the only thing that makes this a Christmas movie. We got a train. It's not a good Spider-Man movie unless there's a fucking train there. Yes! Break Ops. Yes, I'm glad you mentioned that. Him going through the mall is definitely a lot like Miles chasing Rhino through the mall. Yes, absolutely. And that was also around Christmas time. Maybe that was a reference? Maybe? And the thing about like Doctor Strange's stance right now, like even though I'm slightly more on Peter's side, I understand Doctor Strange's point that it's their fate. We need to worry about our own universe. They're killing people or like they're destroying shit here. I can't really worry about fixing them or fixing their universes. That's too big for me. Out of my pay grade. I just want to get rid of them. I get that. I do. I get that. And selfishly, you probably should have did that because Aunt May would still be alive. Absolutely a great debate to have. That's why Civil War works so damn well. It's because you understand both points of view. Even whichever side you take, you at least understand the other person's side. Peter using math to beat Doctor Strange in this fight is kind of genius. That's an example of Peter being so fucking book smart. I have to try. And I love there's so I stole his ring thing. I love the fact that there's so much going on in this movie that people don't even really talk about Spider-Man fought Doctor Strange in this movie. And it's fucking awesome. Spider-Man fighting Strange in the mirror dimension and Spider-Man actually beating Strange. That's a huge moment in any other movie. Oh, I'm something of a scientist myself. I love that they got Norman to say that again. But yeah, in any other movie, Spider-Man versus Doctor Strange would be the most talked about thing of that movie. But the fact that it's this movie, it's barely talked about because so much other cool shit happens. I kind of wish that they changed the way Lizard looks and gave him a snout. I You always hear me talk about Lizard having a snout and how much I want that so bad. But because it's the Amazing Spider-Man's lizard, I guess they had to make him look like that lizard. I get it. I get it. I just if we ever get a lizard in this universe, let's make him look different, please. Let's give him the snout. Let's give him an actual lab coat. They could have given this lizard a lab coat, especially when they're doing all the science shit, trying to come up with cure and shit, right? Like you could have put a lab coat on him. No way, that's his girlfriend. No way. I love Their little handshake there. A little hint of Ned's magic powers. Lizard said, "No way, that's his girlfriend. No way." To be fair, Andrew Garfield had a pretty damn great girlfriend as well, Gwen Stacy. That's a hell of a girlfriend too. And I saw some people online were upset that this movie does not have any deleted scenes. What do you guys think about that? Does it suck that there's no deleted scenes in this movie? Are you upset about that? I know that there is at least a deleted scene of all of these characters in an elevator going up to the apartment before they go through the door and you get the security cam shot. I guess I'm just not aware of the deleted scenes that we. Yeah, that's true. That's true. They did say that they would have deleted scenes. I don't know why they took them out. I don't know. I wish I knew. You see, the Statue of Liberty is on the TV because they are putting the Captain America shield on the. You think they're doing an extended cut, a re-release? You know what sucks is that I would totally see that. Like if they put an extended cut of this movie, like a 3 hour cut or a 2:45, whatever. If they put that like re-release in the theaters, I would totally go and watch it. That's how good this movie is. Even though I own it, even though I don't need to see, but why the fuck not? This movie's that fucking good, man. Here's the part where Tom Holland's explaining, in case you didn't see Spider-Man 2, they're explaining the chip situation with Doc Ock, which is cool. I'm sure there are people who don't remember exactly what Doc Ock's deal was, or maybe there are people who didn't see it. There could be young kids who did not see the Tobey Maguire movies, which makes me feel old as fuck. But I'm sure there are kids who only have seen the Tom Holland films, and so. Oh, oh, right. When she says, "Do you want salt water because you're an octopus?" And he's like, "What?" That actually gets a good laugh. In the theater, that got a good laugh. There's a lot of good laughs in this movie. That's why people like me rewatch and go back and. There's Sandman's whole deal. I have a daughter, so that's why I'm a criminal. DTA. Don't trust anybody. Oh, this line's great. This moment's great. Electro and Sandman talking about how they both became what they are. Damn. Gotta be careful where you fall. It's so true. How many villains have been created just because they trip and fall? Right? If you need a job and you're willing to commute to another universe. Can you imagine? Oh, fuck. I just had a thought. You know how in the after credits scene of Morbius, Michael Keaton gets plucked out of the MCU and put into the Sonyverse? That's going to happen to Tom Holland, isn't it? Tom Holland is going to commute to another universe. Fuck. They're going to take him out of the MCU and officially put him in the Venomverse. Motherfucker. That's true. Jack Nicholson's Joker fell into a vat of acid. I love Tom Holland's reaction here. He's like, "Fuck, did I just fucking kill Doc? Doc? This is heavy." Doc, this is heavy. Can Sony take Tom Holland? Yeah. I mean, as of right now, Tom Holland is not contracted to do more Spider-Man movies. But if he resigns, then yeah, Sony owns him. Um, unless Marvel Disney buys Sony or buys Spider-Man back, which God only knows, Sony would not sell Spider-Man back. Like Sony's holding a stranglehold on the rights. But yeah, Sony would have him, and that's what they would do. That's the first thing Sony would do is that they would fucking take Tom Holland and pluck him into the Venom movies, the Venom verse, and holy fuck, I just don't want to see that. As much as I want to see more Tom Holland as Spider-Man, I don't want it in the Venom verse. And we get Otto Octavius back, actual Otto Octavius. Who are those guys, huh? Was one of the guys made of mud? Jon Favreau is so good. I love that he's been in. I want to say I heard somewhere that Jon Favreau's been in 9 Marvel movies as Happy Hogan. Just me. The way how Willem Dafoe says "just me," that's how you know that he's evil. That's your clue. He turns around and smiles. That makes you think, oh, well, maybe not. But instantly, I knew, okay, something's off here. And I like that Electro is so uneasy about this. He's so just uncomfortable about losing his powers. Or are these your Legos? I don't know why I find that funny either, but it's it's Electro creating another reason to be like, all right, this dude's a fucking kid. Like, should I really be betting my whole existence around what this teenager is doing, right? There's J. Jonah Jameson. This is where I want incriminating, not photos, but images of footage. Interesting that Lizard. It does make sense why Lizard would not go in the building. That Lizard does not want to become human. Lizard likes the way that he is, so he's just staying in the van. I just would have liked Lizard to be up here to get him in a lab coat. I can't get I can't express that enough. Okay, this scene of Peter's spider sense, it's one of my favorite scenes of the movie. The way how the sound goes, and Tom Holland's eyes, it's really great acting. Tom Holland is, and the confusion. I remember the first time I didn't know what the fuck was going on. This is so good. This is played up so well. And then the way how Norman walks away. Ugh. And then he closes his eyes. You, bam, webs him. Ah, love it. That's some neat trick, that sense of yours. Norman's on sabbatical, honey. I love how Willem Dafoe plays the evil Norman, just the change in his voice. He's so fucking good, man. Marissa Tomei, her backing away, um, very subtle. I also wonder how long evil Goblin or evil Norman has been present and been faking. I love the reactions here. Like even Sandman looks like he's like, Jamie Foxx is definitely with him because he's like, I don't want to lose my powers. I love that Doc Ock is like, no, this is wrong. I love this scene. I love this fucking movie. Like, I love this monologue. Run, May. Electro took the fucking thing off. Oh, and the evil laugh. Willem is so fucking good at the evil smile. Like, this is why people say they should have never put a mask on Willem Dafoe. And clearly Kevin Feige knows that because that's why they broke the mask. That's why they let him act. They let him just fucking do his thing, right? They let him be the Goblin. He doesn't need a mask to be the Goblin. He can fucking do it. And I love that he got a second chance. I love that Willem got a second chance to show just how fucking good he is and was and still can be as Green Goblin. Um, as many villains that are in this movie, I feel like Green Goblin is the top tier number one villain of this movie. He is. He is. I love J.K. Simmons' reaction to Lizard fucking bursting out of the van. Did you see that? This fight between Norman and Spider-Man is so fucking good. This move Spider-Man does to Norman directly from the video games. Him webbing up and then driving him through the fucking ground. Come the fuck on. I love the purple hoodie all ripped up and you can see his goblin suit underneath it. Too weak to take it. This fight's so good. Peter punching Norman and he's still laughing and smiling. Total Joker Heath Ledger vibes. Oh, I love it though. I love it. I love it. God damn. Now I gotcha. J. Jonah Jameson, the possibly the biggest villain of the movie, J. Jonah Jameson. Oh, Spinebuster! Norman Osborn clearly loves WWE. He's doing so many. He did a power bomb earlier. He just did a Spinebuster. He's doing fucking wrestling moves. I love his fighting style. I love that May just fucking went in there, man. May didn't run away. Like, she didn't leave Peter to die. She she at least tried. And how different would this be if when she stabbed him, if that cure had worked, how different would all of this go down? Oh, the glider. This is gonna fucking ruin me. Oh, fucking slams into her. And that shot of him jumping onto the glider all in one take is so good. Mmm. And he threw the bomb at her. The Green Goblin is Spider-Man's fucking hardest villain. This solidifies it. That just that scene, that moment of him looking over and not even thinking twice. That's the thing about Goblin is that he's so fucking evil. He will not have a moral, you know, like yes, the real Norman's in there, but the Goblin persona is so fucking evil. He just doesn't care. He just doesn't care. And the fact that we get to see Willem act that, we get to see his face, we get to see how much joy he's taking in hurting people. It's something you didn't get in Spider-Man 2002 because he had the mask. You didn't get to see as much. Um, and I remember thinking, I did not think they were going to kill Aunt May. Even when she got hit and then she got back up, I said, "Oh, okay. Like she's fine. She's gonna be okay." Here we go. Here we go. Here's the line. Wait, not yet. My moral mission. I love that her last words to Peter are, "You have power. And with great power, there must also come great responsibility." Fuck yes! Aunt May. They gave Aunt May the line. Let's fucking go. Uh, uh, I think that's when she stopped for a moment and was like, "I need to catch my breath." That's when I was like, "Oh no!" First time I saw it, uh, and I cried every single time I saw this in the theater at this moment, even when I knew it was coming. The second, third time, I think I saw it what 4 times in the theater. Every time I just was like, "Fuck!" And it's a combination of Marissa Tomei not being aware that she's dying, not being aware of it, how much more worried she is about Peter than she even is for herself. She's not even thinking about herself. She keeps asking Peter, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" That and then Tom Holland's acting. Tom Holland just the tears in his eyes. Fuck, man. I think the first time it got me because it's Aunt May dying. So like just that as an emotional point, that's gonna hit me hard. The times I've cried since on rewatches is because of how good the acting is. She's gone. Aunt May's gone. I remember when they killed Aunt May at the end of the Spider-Man game, and I remember being so fucking angry that they killed Aunt May in the game. And I remember thinking to myself, they'll never do this in the movie, though. And it's so funny, too, because in Homecoming, Far From Home, even in Civil War, we all assumed that the Uncle Ben thing happened and he's already gotten the "with great power comes great responsibility" speech. It's already happened. We just didn't see it. And we were okay with that because we've seen it. We've been there, done that. But the fact that that was not the case, the fact that Tom Holland's Peter Parker has not gotten the "with great power comes great responsibility" speech until now. And it was Aunt May who did it. What a great fucking twist. Happy seeing Happy's reaction to Aunt May being dead. Uh, I don't want to leave Marissa Tomei. I don't want to leave her there. I don't. I hate that she dies. I like it because it makes sense for this Peter to he has to go through this level of a tragedy to become the Spider-Man that he has to become. It just sucks. It sucks. It sucks to see her die. Man. Marissa Tomei. Can we give some fucking respect? Let's put some respect on Marissa Tomei's name. Because I saw an interview when No Way Home was coming out. And she did an interview for, I don't know what, for who it was for. But in the interview, she kept saying, like, oh, nobody cares about Aunt May in these movies. Aunt May is just a side character. Like, she might have been joking, but I feel like she probably feels like, she's not one of the big characters, although she is. Aunt May is a major character to Peter Parker's life, right? But she's not a part of the action. She's not a part of the superhero-y stuff. So who knows? Maybe Marissa Tomei felt like she was just a side character that, whatever. But I hope she knows how much the fans appreciate her and how she played Aunt May. Aunt May is such an important character, and we've already had so many other actresses play Aunt May: Rosemary Harris, Sally Field, and they all were great. But Marissa Tomei is so good as Aunt May, um, and she arguably has the best Aunt May scene ever, which is her death. Um, I think she killed it. I think she killed it, and I hope she knows that. I'd hate to think that she thinks nobody cares about her role in these movies, because she played the coolest, down to earth, hip, like, fuck, I would love this Aunt May as my aunt, or as my, you know what I mean? Like, she just was cool. I just wish we could see him. Oh, this moment. Oh, I'll never forget the reaction in the theater when you see Spider-Man in that alley. And I don't know how many people knew. I don't know how many people knew that this was Andrew Garfield. I really don't know. But the theater already started clapping just from this. Just from him coming in. And then the theater erupted when he took his mask off. The theater erupted. And this is Andrew Garfield, who, woo, there he is, Andrew Garfield. That's a handsome motherfucker right there. But the theater blew up, and I was so happy to hear the theater clap and cheer and appreciate Andrew Garfield this much, because his movies were not well received. They're kind of talked about, even in the past tense, as the bad Spider-Man movies or whatever. But he was so good in those films. He was definitely always the underappreciated Spider-Man. I'm glad that he's getting the love now. I'm glad that he's, you know, and I love this whole, like, Andrew Garfield saying magic's real in your world. And I love this whole thing with Zendaya where she's like, prove that you're Peter Parker. Crawl across the ceiling. Throwing the bread at him. Oh, I love it. I love Garfield's. Why'd you do that? Why? Can you stop? And I respect it. Oh, this scene is so good. Him just hanging from the thing. Crawl around. No. Crawl around. And she has the bread ready. She's like, crawl around. She's threatening him with a fucking roll of bread. Look at, she threw it at him. Oh, she picks another one up. I love it. I love this scene. I have the tingle thing, just not for bread. Yes. And there he goes. He's crawling. He's crawling. He's doing the crawl. Are we good? Takes the mask out. We good? Until we find the real one. Ouch. Oh, I love Andrew Garfield. I want Amazing Spider-Man 3, but I don't want Sony to do it. I don't want Sony to do it. But I would like Andrew Garfield to get at least one more movie. Find Peter Parker. Oh, and then the theater fucking blew up, man. Toby fucking Maguire. Bully Maguire is back. Yes, the grandmother, Ned's grandmother, was screaming at Spider-Man. which is what makes Andrew Garfield take his mask off. It's so trippy to see an older Tobey Maguire play Spider-Man again. And this Tobey's reaction to Andrew Garfield is very interesting. And then they web at each other. Like it that was very interesting. He was wary. He was like, I don't know if I trust this guy. Now, they quickly get past that and they're like, okay, all right, we're both Spider-Man. But it was a very interesting moment of the way he looked at him like he didn't trust him. I love Andrew Garfield's reaction to Ned's grandmother speaking a different language, and he's like, I don't know what the fuck this woman's talking about. Oh, sorry, Lola. Andrew Garfield's definitely the most underrated, underappreciated Spider-Man ever. And arguably, Garfield could be the best actor to play Spider-Man as far as just like how good. Oh, Tom Holland's really good too, as far as doing the emotional scenes, doing the being funny and quirky. Garfield is very quirky. Um, there's something about his Peter Parker that's very awkward and goofy and like, you know, I missed the part where that's my problem. Oh, dude, if they got Willem Dafoe to say I'm something of a scientist myself, if they got Tobey Maguire to say some of those bully Maguire lines, I know it doesn't fit his character. I know it doesn't really work, but holy fuck. If you could do it, man. I love the moment where Toby says that his getaway spot is the Chrysler building, right? And Garfield said his is the Empire State. It's a better view. It is a pretty sweet view. Oh, and then we're back to fucking Tom Holland crying, man. God damn, Tom Holland. See, he's good too. Would I be down to see Toby wear the black suit again? The black suit, not so much. But I'd be down to see a Spider-Man 4 with Toby. It's just I don't know what you could do with him now with a black suit. Like that would be better or funnier than what they already did with him in Spider-Man 3. I wouldn't want them to like recreate all of that stuff because it's like he's older now and you know the three Spider-Men meeting is such. This is Avengers Endgame level of epicness. Like, I never thought I would live in a world where three different Spider-Man actors are in one movie, all playing Spider-Man. This blows my mind on so many levels because not only is it something that I used to watch when I was a kid, the Spider-Man cartoons, when they would tap into the multiverse type stories and they would bring in other Spider-Men from other universes. They would, I remember Peter Parker interacting with different Peter Parkers from different universes and like a Ben Reilly and the Spider-Man that was a full fucking spider thing with 6 arms, right? And the robot Spider-Man and just like there was like 6 different Spider-Man that he like had to work with to stop the Secret Wars, and it was nuts. They basically did that in this movie, and the reason why this is a bigger deal is because each one of these actors has their own Spider-Man movies that sets up their backstories, sets up their histories, sets up their own villains, their own character arcs, their own love interests. And so to bring them all together, it's not like you can plan that. It's not like you can say, hey, with these Tobey movies, one day we're going to do a second Spider-Man, and then we're going to do a third Spider-Man, and then eventually, 20 years from now, we're going to do a movie where they all interact with each other. You just can't plan for that. This is a happy accident. This is we got so fucking lucky. And thank you, Kevin Feige. Sony better be sucking Feige's dick right now for being able to make this Spider-Man movie fucking work as well as it does. By the way, Andrew Garfield kills me when he's talking about Gwen right now, and he got rageful. He stopped pulling his punches. What does that look like? Was his Spider-Man killing people, or at least like breaking necks? And I almost want to see that movie, right? Like, what fucking happened there? How dark did he go? If you remember the end of Amazing Spider-Man 2, Andrew Garfield was fucking depressed. For months, he was at that gravesite, just sitting there, snowing, and he just didn't care. He was just there, and he was depressed, and he was angry, and he was sad, and crazy to hear that he went through that. Crazy to hear Toby talk about how, like, I fucking killed that dude that killed Ben, and it still didn't make me feel better. I love that we're taking history from those movies and we're helping Tom Holland Spider-Man hopefully learn from their mistakes, right? Toby, whether it was accidental or indirectly, however you want to say, he killed the guy that killed his uncle. Oh, it was Sandman. No, fuck it. Fuck. It was the guy from the first movie. With great power comes great responsibility. I love that Toby finishes the line. How do you know? It's what Uncle Ben said the night he died. Now, Tom Holland doesn't really react to like, oh, well, I had an Uncle Ben and he was a dick. Like, we don't know the Uncle Ben to Tom Holland, or if he even, maybe he never had an Uncle Ben. Maybe Marissa Tomei had a husband named fucking Jimmy Smits. I don't fucking know, right? And that guy died, but he wasn't really that impactful or influential or that meaningful to Peter. Right? See, this is the Andrew Garfield quirkiness where he's like, I already cured Connors once before, so I can do it again. And they look at him and he's like, what, it's no big deal. And then he just like doesn't know where to go. That's the weird quirkiness that I love about Andrew Garfield's Peter. If you notice, Thomas hesitant about yes. I noticed that. I think I noticed that the second time I saw this, when he's dispersing the tech or the equipment, and he says, Connors, boom, boom, Sandman, blah blah blah, and then he takes the Goblin cure thing. He doesn't even say Norman's name. He doesn't say Green Goblin. He doesn't say anything. He just takes it and places it in front of Toby. And Toby's the one who says, we gotta cure them all, right? So yes, I did notice that, and it's great character stuff. Did you have a best friend? He died in my arms after he tried to kill me. It was heartbreaking. Oh, and Andrew Garfield, dude. I don't know if he's saying dude because it is heartbreaking story, or if he's saying dude to Ned like you had to bring that up. Like, dude. Oh, it's so good though. It's so fucking good. And I love how awkward Ned is now because he's like, fuck, like, is that gonna be me? Am I gonna become evil and try to kill Peter? Fuck. There's so much layers behind that scene between the comedy and between what Ned is thinking, and I love it. And speaking of layers, we have Zendaya saying to Tom Holland, I'm here, I'm not going anywhere. And we're going to see Andrew Garfield watching them, and obviously Garfield is going to be thinking about him and Gwen. Fuck, man. I can't imagine, because I've had an ex-girlfriend pass away before. But not nearly in the way that, like, Gwen Stacy, obviously, like a tragic fucking, she was murdered, right? No. I had an ex-girlfriend who shit happened. She obviously made some poor choices, and she's not here anymore. And that sucks when you really think about it. But to hear how much it affected Andrew Garfield's Peter Parker, it sucks. And Toby talking about his MJ, I love that. I would have liked to have seen. Oh, Peter. Yeah? Did you mean we're all Peter Parker? Save again. We're all Peter Parker. I love that. I love that moment. We're all Peter Parker. Are you gonna go dressed as a cool youth pastor, or do you wear your? That felt like an improvised line. Are you gonna go as a cool youth pastor? Oh, the webbing. You can't do that, huh? Andrew Garfield. How on earth does that even? I love that we had that moment. I remember. I used to always think how weird it was that Toby's Peter naturally shot webs out of himself. And I love that this movie addresses it. And I promise to never try to kill you. And I love that Andrew Garfield goes, good job. This movie, I can't even really talk about these moments because every time I do, I talk over the next great moment. There's just another good moment. No, we're going to kick some ass. Cure some ass. Cure that ass. No, but I like that Tom Holland was about to quote MJ, expect disappointment, and she says, no, we're going to kick some ass. There's so much good. I never thought, I keep saying this, seeing one science lab developing cures for each and every one of their villains. Something as simple as three Peter Parkers sciencing the shit out of their problem is just great. It's great. And there's the brand new Statue of Liberty. Um, so is there a reason why the Statue of Liberty is not green anymore? I mean, I know that originally it was this copper color, right? And then they colored it green. Is there a reason why the movie made it back to copper color? I mean, I don't know if that answer is, if anybody really knows, but I do like the idea of them putting the Captain America shield on the Statue of Liberty as like a respect to Captain America. It would make sense in this world that they would do that. Um, well, here we go. Toby's back, still giving him problems. My back. And Andrew Garfield cracking Tobey Maguire's back is something I never thought I. I'm gonna keep saying that. I never thought I'd see this. I never thought I even wanted it until they gave it to me. Rob Zombie's new Monsters movie will be PG. Wow, that's a good point. Tobey Maguire, when you see him in his regular clothes when he first comes through the portal, he looks older. Like you go like, oh wow, like Toby's older. But when you see him back in the Spider-Man suit, not only does he look good, like physique wise, but he almost looks younger with the Spider-Man suit. I love this conversation. I don't just it's like I don't do breathing, it just happens. The web just happens. He can't explain it. I love that Andrew Garfield's so fascinated about talking to him. He had a web block. Existential crisis stuff. What are some of the craziest villains that you guys ever fought? I love hearing them reference their other movies. That he fought Venom, and Tom Holland's like, "Oh, I fought Thanos." And then Andrew Garfield, my God, I'm lame. I fought a Russian guy in a rhinoceros suit. You're amazing. You are amazing. Give Andrew Garfield his fucking props. Because that scene feels like they're just improvising. Right? That scene does not feel scripted. That scene feels like it's legit, the three of them just talking. And that's what I love about it. I love that Jamie Foxx calls him the new. Like he's the new Electro. The new. How do you know what that means? He's yellow now. He definitely looks a hell of a lot better. Think about how much cooler Electro would have been in Amazing Spider-Man 2 if he was like this. I mean, fuck. What were they thinking? Does anybody have a problem with Ned being able to do magic, Doctor Strange magic, without any training? I mean, granted, he can't close this fucking portal, but it's very interesting that he has powers. Um, right, he's not blue skinned. You ain't even the shit no more. I don't know why I find that funny. You ain't even the shit no more. Everybody's just shitting on Andrew Garfield, huh? Tobey Maguire fighting Lizard for 2 seconds. We never saw his Spider-Man fight Lizard. We were supposed to get that. Dylan Baker was supposed to become the Lizard. Whether it was Spider-Man 4 or Spider-Man 5, I don't know exactly when. But Dylan Baker was supposed to become Lizard, and Toby was supposed to fight Lizard. It never happened. That's the closest we ever got right there. Yeah, yeah. Toby finally got his Spider-Man 4 moment. I also like, by the way, that Yelena Belova, Florence Pugh, mentions the brand new Statue of Liberty in Hawkeye. She's obviously talking about this. But at the end of this movie, because of the destruction that they cause, the shield falls, and the Statue of Liberty is just standing without the shield. So, do they ever go back to put it back on? Or did they just say, fuck it, we're not even going to bother with the shield anymore? I love the confusion on how they don't. It's hard for them to work together because they're not used to working in teams. That's actually a really cool detail that I wouldn't have thought of myself. I don't want to brag, but I was in the Avengers. What is that? I love that Toby doesn't know what the Avengers are. Uh, how is this helping? Trust your tingle. Peter 3! Andrew Garfield. Peter 3! I guess that's. Oh, and Andrew Garfield saying "I love you" was improvised. I'm sure most of you guys know that by now, but three Spider-Men together swinging. Holy fuck. My God. We are fucking spoiled, people. God damn. It is a good time to be alive right now. Cinema. Fuck you, Scorsese. This is cinema, goddammit. I'm having a grand old time. Hello, Peter. And Andrew Garfield's first Spider-Man movie, Amazing Spider-Man 1, was 10 years ago. This year. And Tobey's first movie is 20 years ago. Way to make me feel old as fuck. Ain't no fucking way Martin Scorsese has seen this. No fucking way. That's true. That's a good point. The trailer and that moment of them jumping, I do love that they digitally removed the other Spider-Man, even though people pretty much figured it out that they were probably there. I still love that they never spoiled it. I love that they never showed us them. It worked out so well because it was so satisfying to see them in the movie firsthand. There he is, Flint Marko, Thomas Hayden Church. And here's where they reused footage from Spider-Man 3 of Sandman. I believe that shot of him looking at his hand is from the scene where Black Suit Spider-Man puts the water on him and his hand was turning into mud. And they just took that shot and turned it into him becoming human. I love Tom Holland. The fact that Tom Holland has been in the Avengers. He's the one leading the group. He's the one telling them what to do. And funny enough, the second time I saw this movie in theaters, I went into the second time I went downtown Boston. And the second time downtown Boston, that crowd was way more loud, way more rowdy, a lot more applauding, a lot more cheering, a lot more chanting. I mean, it kind of worked out. Like the first time I saw it, there was definitely applause and cheering. There was definitely reactions. But I remember thinking, okay, I'm reacting more just internally than the people are here. And then I said to myself, let me go downtown to see it. I think a couple days later, I went downtown. And that crowd was so much livelier, so much into it. It made me happy. I was like, okay, clearly downtown Boston is my people. You know, we're all sharing this together. Dr. Octopus coming back. They try to make us think that maybe him getting electrocuted earlier fucked up his chip, but it did not. He is still a good guy. There you go. And Electro just lost his fucking powers. You put your tickets in the Blu-ray case? That's a good fucking idea. I know I still have my tickets somewhere around here. I don't know where, but fuck, that's a good idea. MJ. There it goes. We just cured Lizard. And there's fucking Doctor Strange. Where is he? Where is he? He's curing them. I love that Doctor Strange is seeing that. Holy shit, Peter did it. Now, I believe this shot of Reese Ifans, I believe that's from Amazing Spider-Man 1. That one's not as obvious as the Sandman one is. Strange back to spoil the party. I heard that this line from Jamie Foxx was improvised. I was convinced that this was purposely written to tease Miles Morales, but I guess not, because Jamie Foxx just improvised this line about there has to be a black Spider-Man out there somewhere. That was just him saying that. So either way, it works because I think we all thought of Miles. And I know some people were like, oh, well, wait a minute. If Electro didn't know that Peter was white, then why did he come through from the spell? Because that would mean he didn't know that Peter Parker was Spider-Man. Now, granted, I think that Harry Osborn did tell him that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. He just might not have known who Peter Parker was, right? Like, he could have still known that a name, Peter Parker, is Spider-Man, but he didn't know that Peter was this white dude. I mean, I can buy that enough, you know. Yes, trying to do better. I do like that moment of Peter and Otto. My boy, you're all grown up. Very nice moment. And I love that Strange is like, no, no, this is going horribly wrong. I love that we see Toby's reaction first to Willem Dafoe's voice. He instantly recognized Norman Osborn. I wish we got more interaction between Toby and Willem Dafoe. Like, the bomb! Oh! I love that moment of all of the Spider-Men catching or seeing the bomb is in. Oh, there goes MJ. She's fallen. And fucking Goblin took him. No! Garfield jump! Oh, this is so good! Garfield saved her. Are you okay? Oh, his acting. Damn, Andrew Garfield. Where's Andrew Garfield's fucking Oscar? Holy shit. 10 seconds. Him catching her and stopping himself from crying. And if you've seen the movies, you know, yes, him fighting back the tears. Fuck, man. So good. Because you know the pain that has been brooding in him. You know how much saving her, how much he wished he could have done that for Gwen. How much he knows losing her fucked him up. He would not allow Tom Holland's Peter to have to go through that. Fuck, man. There's so many levels of why that scene works. And it goes by so quick, but I get so much from his acting in that quick scene. And that's all Andrew Garfield, right? There's no way that it's written, oh, well, you know, like on the page, hey, you know, Peter starts to cry here. No, you know Andrew Garfield was like, I should really fucking react to this. That's how good of an actor Andrew Garfield is. Like, I know Will Smith won the Oscar this year, but Andrew Garfield one day will get an Oscar for whatever movie that is. And for whatever movie that is, he'll deserve it. He deserves it for his performances in these movies, but these movies don't get nominated for acting, so fuck it. I just can't stress enough how good Garfield is. And here we go. Look how angry Tom Holland is, too. Too weak to send me home to die. And I love that Willem Dafoe hears Peter say, I want to kill you myself. And he's happy. It's like the Joker in The Dark Knight, where he just wants to make Batman kill him because then that means he won. Green Goblin has the same thing where he's like, if I can make Spider-Man this hero, if I can make him corrupt, if I can break him down to the level of he'll become a murderer or he'll become filled with hatred, then I've done my job. I don't care if I die. It's such a sick villain. He doesn't care what happened to him, what happens to him. He doesn't care about world domination. He doesn't care about becoming rich. Green Goblin is just, I want to corrupt everybody. That's a scary villain. And this score, I think Michael Giacchino does the score here. Michael Giacchino deserves something. This score is very haunting because you feel like you're watching Peter lose himself. You feel like you're watching Peter like go to the dark side. And Tom plays it very well. He looks fucking like you believe that he's gonna do it. If Toby wasn't there, he would have murdered. Oh, Toby just got stabbed. The first time I saw this, I lost my fucking shit. I thought they were gonna kill Tobey Maguire, and oh fuck. Do I feel like Toby should have died? No! No! I would have hated this movie if they killed Toby right there. I would have hated this movie. I mean, that's a strong thing. Yeah, Norman saying it was your fault. You're the reason why she died. Like just fucking giving it to him more and more. Like, and this is how good Willem Dafoe is. He went from that evil to I'm back to Norman. I'm back to the and he is back to the nice Norman voice. Looks over at Toby. What have I done? Oh, so good. Just the pain on Norman's face. Like, you forget that it's not Norman's fault, right? And it's that bit of facial acting that Willem's doing to where you go like, yeah, he really feels bad about everything Goblin did. Is that happening or am I dying? Toby's so good here. Oh, if they had killed Toby, I would be so, like, I can't say I would have hated the movie because the movie still would have been great, but I would have been so fucking crushed. We already had Aunt May die. I couldn't have taken another major death. We already had Aunt May die. That was enough. That was enough. I don't think killing Toby would have been no. And then you would have had plenty of people who love Toby as Spider-Man who would have shitted on this movie. And I don't even want to think about that. God, I don't even want to think about Toby's Spider-Man dying. Like, to bring him back just to kill him. That would have sucked. It would have sucked. I would have been very angry about that. So we saw a couple of characters who were coming through the purple breaking of the sky, right? You saw Rhino, you saw Craven the Hunter, you saw Black Cat, you saw Scorpion. You might have seen Mysterio. A couple of those I only know from like breakdown videos on YouTube. It goes by so fucking fast. The only ones that I saw upon first viewing was Rhino, Craven, and that's really it. multiple viewings. I've seen Scorpion. I don't think I've ever really seen Black Cat, but I've heard people say that they saw Black Cat. I believe it. Benedict Cumberbatch, we're not praising him enough. This scene where he says to him that like we're all going to forget about you. He actually seems upset about that. This moment of Tom Holland saying goodbye to Toby and Andrew is so good. We don't need a Craven. No, we don't. We don't need a Craven the Hunter movie. I would much rather a Spider-Man 4 with Tom Holland where Craven the Hunter is the villain. That's what Shoney. That's what Shoney. How much have I had to drink? That's what Sony should do. Um, him hugging them, great. You're in so much pain, huh? I am. And then you see in the background, Willem Dafoe is pretty broken up over. I don't know if he knows exactly what he did, but he knows he caused some damage. Imagine if somebody told him that, like, hey, you killed Aunt May. You know that nice woman that welcomed you into the feast homeless shelter and fucking like fought for you and is the reason why you're alive right now? Yeah, you killed her. If he does know that right now, then he fucking hates himself. And it explains why he's just sitting there, defeated. Um, I don't know if we ever do get a Spider-Man 4 with Tobey Maguire in that world. Do we go to that world and is Norman Osborn alive? Does it change the course of the trilogy where Norman's not dead anymore and so that Harry doesn't die? You know what I mean? Like, how much does that affect things? If we ever do get another Tobey movie, does everything look different now? Is Doc Ock still alive now? Sandman's cured? Like, or is it Spider-Man 4, but we're kind of not addressing this? And it is post Spider-Man 3, those events. This moment of Peter telling MJ and Ned, you're going to forget about me. Oh, this breaks my heart too. This breaks my heart too because you saw how I should say, if you don't tell me, I'm just going to figure it out like I did before. I really hate magic. Um, you believe we would follow? Yeah, I agree. They would probably just follow the timeline of the three movies and just go forward with that. I mean, who knows? Maybe you could do a Spider-Man 4 that takes place before Toby gets taken, right? And put here. Maybe Spider-Man 4 would be before this so that it doesn't disregard what this movie did. You do a Spider-Man 4 where they do, whatever the plot and villains are. And then the after credit scenes are him leaving and coming back and everything has been changed for the better, you know? There goes Electro. There goes Doc Ock. We don't know what their futures, their new fates are now. There goes Norman. Sandman. Lizard. I love Andrew and Toby saying bye to each other. Peter 2 and Peter 3. Peter 3. Peter 3. It's so funny because before this movie, I would have argued to the depths of the earth that I would want a Tobey Spider-Man 4 before anything else. After this movie, I want an Andrew Garfield Amazing Spider-Man 3. I want that more than the Tobey movie, which is shocking. I think Andrew deserves another. He's still young enough. He's still in the prime of his acting career. He performance wise, he could deliver us a great Spider-Man movie. I just think the writing and the script needs to measure up to him. See, the Statue of Liberty does not have the shield anymore. They probably won't ever put the shield back on there, especially if Sony does their own thing. But yeah, Peter Parker making the decision. Peter making the decision to he would play Peter better, and yeah, he would. He would. And I think he would be in Amazing Spider-Man 3 now would be so much more welcomed, would be so much more embraced by the fans now. Um, I don't know. I don't think it would have been back then, but now people would be like, fuck yeah, Amazing Spider-Man 3, let's fucking go. Here's this moment where you think maybe MJ's going to remember him. No, she's waving to Ned. Oh. This whole like Peter sacrificing the love of his life to save everyone is such a Spider-Man thing to do, but it's still heartbreaking. Especially because they were such a good couple. MJ was so in love with him. Even before she ever knew that he was Spider-Man, she was in love with him. You know, she stalked him, she followed him in detention and like every fucking thing. MJ was in love with Peter before she ever knew he was Spider-Man. And that's why she was a perfect love interest for Peter. And so to have all of that gone, to have her look at him as if he's just a dude, is very heartbreaking. And Peter is seeing that MJ and Ned both got into MIT, which is what he wanted. Do you guys think that if we do get a Tom Holland Spider-Man 4, do we bring back Zendaya? Does Zendaya remember? Does she get her memories back? Or do we get a new love interest? Do we get a Gwen Stacy? Do we? I'm at the point now where I think I'd rather just keep Zendaya around. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how she gets her memories back, but I would work towards her getting her memories back. Um, Although you could do a Tom Holland Felicia Hardy Black Cat situation. You know, you could have her be a pseudo love interest before maybe Spider-Man 5 we bring back Zendaya, right? Um, I don't know. You see the Band-Aid, it's going to make him not want to tell her. Uh, and it sucks because you so want him to tell her. You so want him to just fucking do it because it's what she wanted. She told him, "Tell me." But he doesn't do it. And I don't Peter is a better man than me. I don't know if I would have I don't know if I would be selfless enough to give up the love of my life. You know, fuck. She definitely makes a face where she's like, okay, that was weird. Or, you know, is she making a face like, what's up with that guy? There's something with him. Or he looks familiar. Although, let's be honest, at the end of Spider Man 2002, Kirsten Dunst reacted to Toby kissing her as if she recognized that it's the same kiss from Spider Man. And then in Spider Man 2, she doesn't fucking reference that at all. So Zendaya making that face could mean nothing. We have Aunt May's gravestone. If you save, what is it? If you help someone, you help everyone. Something like that. Which is, I think, the quote from the game, the video game, right? That's PlayStation game. And further just furthering it home that Happy does not recognize Peter Parker. If they continue Ned's Doctor Strange plot, MJ. Yeah, that's true. We don't know what will happen with Ned. You know, does Ned become a villain? Does Ned become the Hobgoblin? Does he become somebody else? Does he become a sidekick like hero because he has powers now? It's hard to really figure out because you don't know how much of what he remembers and what he doesn't remember. Does he remember being friends with Spider-Man but not Peter Parker? Does he remember doing stuff with Spider-Man? Maybe not, because everything that he did with Spider-Man came with the knowledge of him knowing Peter. How would Ned be a villain? Well, I mean, the only reason why people talk about Ned becoming a villain is because Ned Leeds in the comic books, that name is somebody that becomes the Hobgoblin in the comics. Now, in the comics, Ned was never Peter's best friend. So clearly they've already changed Ned as a character. So this Ned doesn't have to become Hobgoblin. It's just in the comics, Ned Leeds is the Hobgoblin. So anyone else wish that the guy who said the rent is due on the first, don't be late, that it was the rent guy from Sam Raimi's Rent? Rent? I mean, maybe that would take away from the, you know, pseudo serious moments. Peter Parker getting a GED. Rent? So Peter, I don't know how Peter has an apartment. Like, where did he get the money to get an apartment? Because goddamn, is it not easy to find an apartment? Let me tell you. And does he have a job? I mean, does he work for the Daily Bugle? He doesn't have Tony Stark money unless maybe he put some cash aside. Did he get some cash from Tony Stark? And like, he definitely doesn't have any more Stark stuff coming in because everyone forgot about him. Maybe he has a bag full of cash. Aunt May's insurance. Yeah, but nobody knows who Peter Parker is. So Peter Parker isn't entitled to anything with Aunt May. There's the new suit. And he's swinging in Christmas time, Times Square, baby. Oh, it looks so good. Looks so good. I wish if we get a Spider-Man 4 with Tom Holland, they better keep that suit. It better not be a thing like an X-Men fucking Dark Phoenix where Apocalypse teased them having their comic book suits, but then in Dark Phoenix, they're not wearing it. Like, fuck off. Give me this suit the next time we see Tom Holland. And can we be happy that they use this 3 as the magic number by De La Soul? Can we just be happy that De La Soul got some love here? Such a good song. Such a good song. Perfect for this end credits, too. And I love the animated 3 Spider-Men doing stuff. Michael Giacchino, thank you for the score. The song fits perfect. Absolutely. Beautiful movie. Zendaya, perfect movie. Love this fucking movie. Still holds up. And I say holds up, it's only a couple months old. But you know what I mean. Like, sometimes when you see a movie for the second, third, fourth time, you already know everything that's going to happen. So maybe it loses some magic, or it loses that thing that initially the surprise is. But this movie still fucking works, you know? And I've seen some people say that this movie is nostalgic, like nostalgic bait, right? It's only using our nostalgia for Toby and Andrew. That's the only reason why we love it. And I say fuck that, first of all. But second of all, I think the movie on its own works. You know, I do. I do. And I think we are living in a time where we don't know how many more of these movies we're going to get. I'm not saying that, you know, Marvel is in any danger of stopping what they're doing. My point is that even if it's 5 years from now, if Marvel has like 5 straight bombs, right? as unlikely as that is. But if the whole Marvel MCU thing ever shuts down, we got an amazing run of movies between Infinity War, Endgame, No Way Home, Civil War, and that's just a couple. That's just a handful. I'm talking about. Oh God, we have the mid credit scene. Tom Hardy as Eddie Brock, Venom. You know, I don't like the Venom movies when the post credit scene of Venom Let There Be Carnage, when Venom gets teleported into the MCU and sees Tom Holland Spider Man. I remember being like, oh no, this is not the version of Venom that I wanted to see in the MCU. And I remember being so conflicted and so upset because it's like, I don't want this Venom. I don't want this Venom. And so, luckily, yeah, Kevin Feige was like, we're not fucking. This Venom can go. Kevin Feige was like, goodbye, Venom. Rosemary Harris is still alive. Um, if we get Spider-Man 4 with Tobey Maguire, maybe we get her. I know she's very old at this point, but maybe we get like one scene with her where like he goes to visit her or something. That'd be cool. And the black symbiote is left behind. I guess that's the only reason why. Because some people wonder, well, if Venom wasn't a part of the actual movie, if he wasn't one of the Sinister Six, they didn't do the Sinister Six, but they had like 4 or 5 villains here. And some people were theorizing that maybe Venom's going to show up and either fight Spider-Man or help Spider-Man. I'm glad he wasn't in the main movie. I am. And then you come to a point though where you're like, well, why did they even do that in the first place? Why did they take Venom and put him here in the post-credit scene just to send him back? Well, clearly they did it just to leave a piece of the symbiote behind. So I don't know where that goes. I don't know. The filmmakers would like to gradually or gratefully acknowledge the original true believer, Avi Arad, whose vision. Avi Arad? What the fuck? Fuck Avi Arad. Why is there a message for Avi Arad when he's clearly the worst producer on any of these Marvel movies? The guy doesn't know shit about how to make a good movie. He just. Wow, I can't believe they put that in there. Cliff Robinson should have some scene in Spider-Man 4. Well, Cliff Robinson's dead. Uh, Cliff Robinson died not long after Spider-Man 3, I believe. Um, but yeah, I don't like why put a loving message for Avi Arad, but nothing for Stan Lee. With Stan Lee is, Spider-Man's probably his biggest creation. This is the well, actually, I guess he wasn't in Far From Home, but still, I think Stan Lee should have gotten something. Sam Raimi should re-release the 2002 movie with the World Trade Center scene. So that scene was supposed to be in the movie itself. That wasn't just for the trailer. Interesting. So would it have been during the montage of Spider-Man like going around New York and saving people and doing stuff? They would have included him. Oh, you mean a flashback or deleted scene? Okay. Um, I think the most we would get if we did get a Tobey Spider-Man 4, they would just have a picture of Cliff Robinson, a picture of Uncle Ben somewhere. I think that's the most you probably would get. Um, This was so much fun. This was so much fun. And I just watched this the other day. And I had so much fun. I was like, let's just do a live watch and watch this. And I'm glad I did. I'm glad so many of you joined me. I'm glad so many of you hopefully had a good time watching this with me. This was great. This was fun. This might be one of the best turnouts I had for a live watch. It's made me miss the live watches. Um, Favorite suit in the movie. In this movie, it's the Toby suit. Toby's Spider-Man suit is still my favorite suit ever. It's my favorite Spider-Man suit ever. I love the way it looks. I love how much it looked like the original suit. It wasn't altered, at least nothing to where I can notice. It looked like the 2002 suit, you know? The only thing that sucks as far as the watch alongs go is that the next one is X-Men Origins Wolverine. So it's like we had so much fun with this movie and so much praise and so much good stuff to say, so much fun to be had. To then go to fucking X-Men Origins Wolverine, oy vey, that's going to be brutal. I hope you guys join me for that one. I hope you guys are there with me because I'm gonna need some goddamn support there. Yeah, just like the Catwoman. Yes, right. The Catwoman one was brutal, absolutely brutal. Thank you, Break Ops. I thank you for your time. I thank you for all of your time. This these rewatches would not be fun without all of you guys being here. You know, and it's great to see people love these movies as much as I do. You know, it's drunk rage watch. Absolutely. Drunk. Should I title the X-Men Origins Wolverine live watch as the Drunken Rage Watch live? Man, I'm gonna need to get some shots. I'm gonna need to like go full out. Oh man. So I believe there is a post credit scene, right? The the first trailer for Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, which is coming up pretty soon, right? It's like 2 weeks. When is it? Is it 2 weeks from now? Man, how epic. And I don't want to put too much on Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. I don't want to overhype it. I don't want to oversell it. I don't want to say it's going to be as good as this or as good as Endgame or any one of those. It's the first week. Yes, it's like May 6th, I think, or something like that. Um, a fantastic high with this movie to the lowest of low with X-Men Origins Wolverine. I know. You really can't it's such an opposite ends of the spectrum, right? X-Men Origins Wolverine, we were talking about bad superhero movies earlier with Catwoman and Elektra and whatever the fuck. X-Men Origins Wolverine is right down there, man. Shit. Bottom of the barrel. I think we're about to get we got the Sony, we got the Columbia Pictures logo. I think we're about to get the Doctor Strange post credit thing. Yep. Don't cast that spell. We tampered with the stability of space and time. Your desecration of reality. Wow. Wow. Yeah, this looks like shit. But not in a bad way. I mean, like, the world looks like it's going to shit. Oh, Rachel McAdams is getting married to somebody. Wanda! It's funny how much WandaVision has gotten us to love and appreciate Wanda Maximoff way more than we ever did in any of the movies. I mean, I liked her, but now I'm fully invested. I actually care about what happens to Wanda. You know, it's gonna break my heart if she becomes evil or if she becomes the villain. It's gonna kill me to see that. If she dies, it's gonna be so tragic. And WandaVision, such a great job of making me care about her as a character. I love that Chiwetel Ejiofor is coming back. Finally, we're gonna see what happens to Baron Mordo. And we get a little bit of America Chavez, right? There's Evil Strange. He looks so wicked there. It's amazing how different he looks. Doctor Strange will return. Whoa. Wow. Well, there it is. There it is. Amazing. Amazing. That was great. All right, people. Well, I guess that's it. I think we've peaked. Uh, oh wow, they just jumped right into the bloopers, huh? Go right into it. All right, let me turn this off. All right, everyone. So thank you all for would I do a live watch of iRobot? Um, I like iRobot. It's been a long time since I've seen iRobot, but yeah, I had to turn the bloopers off for myself too. It just automatically goes right into it. Um, yeah, but maybe I don't know. I don't know how much of a demand there is for me to do iRobot, but if I ever do like a Will Smith thing, right? If I ever do like a hey, let's go through some of Will Smith's greatest hits, would iRobot be one of his greatest hits? It's probably top 10 Will Smith movies, right? Maybe. We shall see. But all right, guys, I appreciate you. Um, it's about 11:15. I'm debating on if I should hop over to Twitch. Hmm. 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 Well, if I do, then look out for me on Twitch. If I don't, or if not, good night. Good night, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whatever time of day it is for you. I know it's different time zones. I know maybe people watch this after the fact, not live. But yeah, this was fun. This was fun. I really do feel like we got something special. Spider-Man No Way Home, whatever the future holds for Spider-Man, I don't think it'll ever reach this level, right? It'll like the Truman Show. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. What was it? And if I don't see you, good. Okay. I'm fucking it all up. I've had too much to drink. All right, guys. Catch you guys later.